there's this stereotype of relatively conservative Americans that we're all a bunch of stiffs, and that I like a good joke about Trump or Obama as much as the next guy. I think the problem and the beef you and I both, and correct me if I'm wrong, have with this is that the humor's one-sided and it's just malicious. It's not about, it's meant to be personally insulting. Let me just be candid, Grant. There's nothing funny about insinuating that someone is a racist or a potential killer because he supports one policy or because he prefers a firearm to, defend himself or his family. That's never funny. That's never a joke. And I think kind of in Hollywood, too, you've even seen it in late night. One of the reasons I think Fallon does okay, and, listen, you don't have to be a huge fan of the guys. And once in a while, he'll throw a shot the other way, too, whereas the other ones out there are just completely one-sided. Yeah. And the difference, again, is they're just malicious, and that's not funny.
Welcome to the house of fun. Now I've come of age. Welcome to the house of fun.
Stephen A. Smith, the sports commentator, suggested that this was revenge from the president for all the kind of left-wing activism of the NBA. Your response to that, 15 seconds.
I'm the FBI director. I decide which arrests to conduct and which not to conduct. That may be the single dumbest thing I've ever heard out of anyone in modern history, and I live most of my time in Washington, D.C. It's right up there with Adam Schiff.
Adam Shifty Schiffs. Can you believe this guy? He's got the smallest neck I've ever seen. And the biggest head. We call him watermelon head. I'd say, how could that big fat face stand on a neck that looked like this finger? How can it? It was the weirdest thing. It's a mystery. Nobody can understand it.
First of all, everyone's made this comment already and needs to be echoed again. You were elected as the president of working Americans, and that's why this Labor Day is so meaningful. For me personally, this is the most meaningful Labor Day of my life as someone with 4 jobs. And so... That's true.
In other words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. But you're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
Who, Pocahontas? Pocahontas. Well, no, look, she is
very offensive.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I consider Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez to be the leader of the Democratic Party. She's entitled to her opinion. I'm entitled to mine. As I've said about her before, I think she's the reason there are directions on a shampoo bottle. And,
guys, how are you? Hi. I know you're covering the vice president here. I figured I'd come by and one, get a good look at the plane, because hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months, but I also thought you guys might get lonely because the vice president doesn't answer questions from reporters and hasn't for 17 days. Have they given you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from reporters? No? Nobody? Okay, great. Well, I hope that she changes her mind, because it'd be good for the American people, and I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign instead of one from a basement with a teleprompter. So have a good one, guys. See ya.
I'm not widely known for being a sentimental guy. Anyone who's seen me on social media knows I'm far more likely to crack a joke or get myself in trouble for posting some grossly inappropriate memes than I am to shed a tear. I know this because I've even gotten the call from that guy a couple times. You know, Don, you're getting a little aggressive on social media, Don. Relax.
Senator Kennedy,
I want extra time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I mean, this is enough is enough.
Cruz was next, but he wasn't here.
Senator Cruz was next.
Okay. Senator Cruz, if you're ready, go ahead.
Well, thank you, but I will welcome Senator Kennedy providing color commentary throughout my question.
I will be happy to. If we ever finish this hearing this year.
And I'll point out Senator Kennedy has a new book about testing negative for stupid, so I hope I test negative for stupid. I hope I meet the threshold of
You do meet it, and I talk in the book about the tattoo of the Backstreet Boys on your back.
Tell me why. Look, I can't help that you don't want to reach young people. I think young people are the future, damn it, and I'll do whatever steps are needed.
Backstreet Boys?
I want it that way.
That would be on Vice President Vance's playlist, I heard, that got hacked.
And it continues, and we'll get it down even further. But insulin was, the people weren't taking it, I would imagine. They couldn't test it. God bless you, Bobby. I hope I didn't catch COVID just there. Don't you have Paxlovid? What is it? Paxlovid. He's got Paxlovid. Give me a Paxlovid immediately.
There are some, at least one White House official, who used the term Kung Flu, referring to the fact that this virus started in China. Is that acceptable? Is it wrong? Are you worried that having this virus be talked about as a Chinese virus, that might...
I wonder who said that. You know who said that?
I'm not sure the person's name, but would you condemn the fact...
Say the term again.
A person at the White House used the term Kung Flu. My question is, do you think that's wrong? Kung Flu. And do you think using the term Chinese virus, that puts Asian Americans at risk, that people might target them?
No. I think they probably would agree with it 100%. It comes from China.
So Cheryl and I went over about, 8 months ago, maybe 3 months before I announced my candidacy, and we went to Japan, and they do this surgery in Japan where they put a piece of, like a bridge of titanium in my throat, and it helped, and then I started doing some therapies, and it's improving.
If you woke up from that surgery with an Asian accent, that would help.
I said that. I said, I don't want that happening. I told that guy.
Before you went under, you listened?
Well, they never put
I need to pronounce R's. I'm RFK.
They never put me under you get in trouble for like Asian stuff.
No.
I must have misread that.
It wasn't misread.
It was. The Budapest location is interesting, and it flows into this funny exchange between SV Date, HuffPost reporter, and is Caroline Levitt or...
Yes, Caroline Levitt.
I'll read the text first. So SV reaches out. Is the president aware of the significance of Budapest? In 1994, Russia promised in Budapest not to invade Ukraine if it gave up the nuclear weapons it inherited when the Soviet Union dissolved. Does he not see why Ukraine might object to that site? Who suggested Budapest? Thanks. Your mom did. He says, is this funny to you? And she said, it's funny to me that you actually consider yourself a journalist. You're a far left hack who nobody takes seriously, including your colleagues in the media. They just don't tell you that to your face. Stop texting me your disingenuous, biased, and BS questions.
And Trump heard the story, so he called me and the next night and he said, Mike, I'm not going to do it in his voice because that's how I hear it. Sorry. Oh, you sound disappointed. He said, Mike, no, I should not do it. I said, okay. I'll give you one line, okay? Because this is the first thing I pick up. Mike, those beautiful, perfect American boys. We almost lost them, Mike. What happened? Okay. We did. And it's this very serious thing. Michael, tell me what happened. They say it's a miracle. It was a miracle. I told him the whole story in detail. And he was so moved by that because he's very close to his sons as well, to his children as well. And it resonated in his heart. And we talked about God's providence. And for the next 4 or 5 conversations I had with President Trump over the next several weeks, he brought this up at the beginning of every conversation. He was so moved by the fact that he said, you wouldn't even have had a Thanksgiving, Mike. You'd never have another Thanksgiving. I mean, think of it, Right. I know.
Joe Biden, who finally gave a speech last night, I don't know when he started, 11:30, who knows. That's a shame to do that to somebody. I'm stop there, Brian. The Democrats have gotten immigration so wrong and so backwards that even Kamala Harris had to put Trump's wall in her ads. Can you imagine that? I figure if they ask her what's her plan to secure the border, she's going to say, I grew up as a middle-class child.
Where's JD? What the hell happened to JD? He was just here. He must have gotten a call from China.
What is the first truly Islamist country that will get a nuclear weapon? And we were like, maybe it's Iran, maybe Pakistan already kind of counts. And then we sort of finally decided maybe it's actually the UK, since Labour just took over.
That's good. That's great.
I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop.
So it's very interesting. Go ahead.
Are you going to retaliate against me?
And by the way, I have to speak of inflation. I love these socks. What's with these socks?
It's in honor of the peace.
I'm trying to stay focused, but I'm very impressed with the VP's socks.
Because I say, President Trump is a double down president. I'm going to have to double down, $100 billion and 100,000 jobs. This is, my confidence level, because that has doubled down. So anyway, I'm excited to go, and we were discussing, and President Trump said, Masa, double down is not enough. Maybe, go for more, right?
That's what I'm going to ask him right now. Would you make it $200 million instead of he can actually, believe it or not, he can actually afford to do that. Would you do that?
Well, my promise is 100, but he's now asking to do more. I think with your leadership, my partnership with you, with your support, I will try to make it happen.
That's good.
All right,
200. He'll make it happen. 200. 200 billion investment.
He is a great negotiator.
That's what I do. I make deals.
It's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.